Welcome to episode 2 of the Damji Show. In this episode, I interview Marcello Sheriff, special agent for the Department of Homeland Security and also an Astroflipping community member and a multi-family fund manager. This guy is amazing. He's mastered the game of wholesale. He's made all kinds of money. In addition to that, he built a fund where now he's got millions of dollars under management in his multi-family projects, and he is taking the real estate world by storm. Now, if you've ever wondered, hey, is this Astroflipping thing a scam? Well, hear from law enforcement yourself. Now, if you are brand new to this page and you're watching this for the first time, do me a favor. If you like this video, hit that little like button because it helps us out a lot. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit the notification bell because for whatever reason, even though I've got thousands of people that are subscribed to this channel, YouTube only shows it to 5 of you. So do me a favor and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also leave me a comment. I love hearing your guys' input and tell me who you'd like to see me interview next, and I'll do my best. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, do me a favor and leave a 5-star review. Please don't leave a 4-star review because that's mean. Leave a 5-star review if you actually like this episode, and let me know who you are, what you loved about it, and share it with a friend. Now here's Marcello Sheriff.
Damji.
Let's go, baby. What's up? We're at the Damji Show here. I got all kinds of people that I get to have the privilege of getting to know, work with, have in my life. Marcello Sheriff, great friend, business partner. We've done, Keegley franchise at one point, Astroflipping, like boss. But one of the coolest things about you is, the background that you came into the community with that just makes you such a powerful person. Special agent in the Department of Homeland Security. So guys, we got like special clearance for this. I don't know who would have had to give us clearance for this, but once upon a time undercover agent. So that's why he's wearing the glasses. Not true. But yeah, dude, what's up?
Hey,
good to see you.
For having me. I appreciate
Of course. Thank you for coming and agreeing to this because I know you don't necessarily like being on camera, which is.
Not a camera guy.
Not a camera guy. But bro, your story is like incredible. And, not only is it inspiring because of all of the things that you've got going on. In the time that I've gotten to know you, you went from, law enforcement, and you're still in law enforcement.
Yes.
But in addition to that, wholesaling, incredible wholesaler, but you've now like branched off into this world of multifamily syndications. I understand you've got $40 million under management currently, and you guys are just rocking and rolling, looking for new projects.
Always.
I'm hopping in on some future opportunities with you because who better to trust? I know one thing. If I write Marcelo a check for a project, I'm not giving it to a criminal. Right. Right? So that first and foremost just makes me super comfortable, right? But let's rewind it a second because I would love for the people who don't know you the way I do to understand more about who Marcello Sheriff is. So take us back. Give us the bio.
Man, well, I mean, I'm 36 years old here, married, lovely wife. 3 kids, just had a baby girl, our 3rd baby girl, back in September.
Congratulations.
Going on 6 months. Super excited. I grew up out here in California, actually.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, back in Hemet, California. I grew up, went to high school out there. And then I kind of started branching away once I started the career and everything. So I started a career in Border Patrol back in 2010, where took me to Texas and, did a lot of stuff dealing with like terrorists and human trafficking and all that good stuff, and just seeing what was really going on out there on the borders versus the way the world perceives it.
Yeah, like the news is fake news, right?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of it.
And given the fact that you're on the front lines involved, what's like the worst dude you ever caught?
Man, I mean, a lot of stuff that we would catch is dealing with like your cartels and stuff like that. So,
okay.
People that are just associated with those different cartels, with murdering and kidnapping and all that stuff. I mean, we've seen it all.
Wow. When you look into the eyes of somebody like that, when you get them, right? is there something different? Like, is there a vacancy there, or do you see like, man, this guy's spirit's gone, or this guy's just so, because you gotta be a calloused individual,
Yeah.
just as a an entity, to be able to murder people and to sell drugs that is that the type of drugs that are like killing communities and things like that, or sex trafficking for that matter. Like, when you look in somebody's eyes that has that history, is there something different?
I mean, there's just they're like you said, they're very callous. There's a lot of just distance from humanity, just compassion and different things like that. And it's just all about the dollar, making that money. So
Yeah.
a lot of times it's just there's no connect. But those are people that you rarely run into. A lot of times it's the people that are trying to make a living for their families and trying to do better for their families that are getting put in those situations where they make those decisions, and you can usually see a little bit more compassion in life in them.
And then they typically are the ones that have remorse, come out of the system, and then actually make a change in their life, because they weren't real criminals. They weren't necessarily criminals. They did criminal things, criminal behavior, but they had a inherent goodness to them. They just made bad choices.
Yeah. Sometimes they make changes for the better. Other times they don't. Other times that's all they know. It's a lot of how you grow up, where you're growing up. Just like with real estate, it's who's around you. That's a lot of where your doors come from. So if all you have are crappy people around you, then you're typically gonna run into being a crappy person.
Man, that makes a lot of sense. So, well, let's divert into the real estate aspect of your career, because obviously that's how we connected.
Yep.
Marcello came in through the Astroflipping community. How did that happen? Because I know I've heard it already, but what for those who don't know.
Yeah, so I started off wholesaling, just kind of learning locally on my own, joining my local real estate investors association, and kind of just going through that way. While I was doing that, I started establishing myself and started kind of getting deals done. But I was trying to figure out how to scale it, how to make it grow. A lot of what I was doing was just me working by myself, no partners, no anything. And it's a lot harder to do things on your own. So I started doing that. I started seeing these commercials with this guy that's like blue, like a genie and stuff, or he's sitting in the bathtub, with a bunch of letters
Covered
and
in
stuff.
direct mail. Man, I forgot that, Bobby. We got to do that again, dude. That was great.
I was looking at it. I was like, "What is this? This is crazy looking." And you start seeing it more and more, and you I already had that drive to kind of want to get better into it. And I started seeing like, oh, I'm not paying any marketing, and I was like, man, I'm drowning paying all this money in marketing and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I signed up, and it was a game changer for me. I really appreciated everything that you've done for me in that realm.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and obviously the community is extremely powerful. Over 5,000 people now and counting, and it's a product of folks like you that come in and do business within the community, right? I think one of the craziest things that I hear from people is like, oh, why would I want to pay to be a part to learn something that's on YouTube? Cool, I understand that, and they're right? Like, you can learn how to wholesale on YouTube. In fact, teach most of what I teach in the program on my YouTube channel. That's like, I mean, of course we go more in depth, and organized, and it's a much deeper catalog of information. But the community, the people, right? Because the people that you got to connect with have led you into this like massive success that you've come into with respect to multifamily syndications. And so which speak to that, like the networking concept and the aspect of being able to really connect with folks and kick in doors. I mean, considering you've probably done that a lot, but kick in doors that you wouldn't have necessarily done on your own, or things that you would have, maybe paths you wouldn't have taken. How did you steer into multifamily syndication?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how that happens. Like I said, when I was doing it on my own, it was a lot of, just me making those connections, me going direct to the sellers, me trying to find the buyers and whatnot. And that takes a lot of energy, especially when you have a full-time career like mine, and you're a full-time parent and husband as well. You just don't have as much time. So when I joined the Astro community, it just opened up that network overnight to, you know, the thousands of students that you have in the program. And everybody is open and willing to help you in the best way that they can. And that's kind of how it worked for me. So as I started getting better into wholesaling, scaling up a little bit, and growing, you know, I went ahead and bought the Keegley franchise, and we had the Milwaukee territory. And you know, because of that, that opened up more doors for us because, you know, all of a sudden, being in affiliate with you and everything, people are going to you now even more so, you know, more so than you were just being a regular wholesaler. It added to that credibility. And with that, I had a lady that I met who had a 75 unit, and she brought it to me. She needed help, you know, Astro students and everything. She needed help kind of getting rid of it. And you know, I had no clue about multifamily at the time. I made a lot of mistakes with it when I was dealing with it. I mean, I didn't know what, you know, just terminology like T12s and rent rolls were. You know, I remember doing a showing for it, and I had no answers for anybody. And
they're like, "What's the NOI?"
And I was like, what's the NOI?
What's NOI?
I was like, what language are you speaking right now? And I mean, I screwed some stuff up. What
do you think CapEx is going to be in here? Like,
it was really questions like that that I've never heard of in the single family space and stuff. But because of that connection that I had, it forced me to start looking for buyers and stuff that were in those realms and that were doing those things and learning. And then I started gaining buyers. I started gaining a team that was in that multifamily space. And it led me to connecting to the team that I'm with now that, you know, buys multifamily. And, you know, just last year we bought over 334 units, collectively over about 500 or close to 500 units now. So, I mean, you know, it was about networking and opening doors.
Yeah.
That's really what the Astro community did for me.
It's just such a beautiful thing to see, right? Like, real estate, I'm obviously passionate about it. It changed my entire life, and it's given me the opportunity to have the friends that I have in my world, the people that I get to rub shoulders with and be friendly with. And, you know, like, we got to grab lunch today, and my you know, the next 6 months, I have a goal to do a deal with you in that capacity, right? Where I want to come in and raise capital with you. Because you know, at the end of the day, when you're looking at deals of this type, it's an interesting environment. Mm-hmm. You have people who have no experience that are trustworthy, which is not the best recipe.
Right.
Then you've got people who have experience but aren't trustworthy, which again isn't a recipe for, you know, a good experience. Right. Then you've got people who are trustworthy and have experience because of the partnerships and the things that you've been doing, which I think is the best recipe, but it's very rare.
Yeah, it is.
It's extremely rare. And, you know, what's you know, from my own personal experience, you know, last year I invested in multiple different things, and I'm actually at a loss of over $1.25 million.
Wow.
In garbage people. Garbage situations. And you know, here's when I'm looking back at it, I think, what the F did I do? Like, but you trust, right? You trust people, you trust, you sit down and you think, and sometimes it's greed, because I can tell you, for me, greed got the best of me in a situation that was too good to be true. But I put money there, and then, you know, it unraveled and I lost the money. And it's like, wow, okay, well, now I got to take a look at myself and say, okay, what about me brought that into my life? And then why was I such why was I allowed myself to become a victim of that? Right. And it led to all kinds of growth and self-discovery and exploration. So even though it cost me $1 million to make that mistake, I'm like, you know, for me, this is going to be a lifetime of learning that I can grow from that. And so I'm cool with it. On the other side, there was a group that I gave money to for a syndication, and great people. Mm-hmm. My gosh, like some of the best, you know, like good Christian people, you know, the kind of folks that you would invite to dinner and just they leave your home and you'd be like, I love those guys, you know, but I don't think they necessarily knew what they were doing.
Right.
And And so, for me, I'm like, okay, I want to invest in a good person. I want to put my money where there's like, I can feel the heart. I know that this person's not going to screw me. But then you don't realize that you can get screwed with the lack of experience. You get this in the lack of knowledge and understanding. And so it's a really delicate balance, right? And getting that trustworthy person who has experience that can, get stuff done. And it's why, I feel, aligning with you in future projects makes a ton of sense for me personally, just to even put my money in or to even bring others involved to be involved in it, because I understand, we check boxes, right? Looking at this now, right, from 10,000 feet, as you've grown exponentially in your real estate holdings, grown as a human, grown as a man, grown as a dad, how do you balance this all, bro? Because you've got, kids, you got a family, a career, an investment career. How are you managing to keep your energy at all the places it needs to be?
I mean, it's extremely hard. I've always been a family guy. I've always, wanted to make sure that I was putting my family first and keeping them in mind in every decision that I made. But there's that balance, because your most successful people, there's a sacrifice that has to be made. They're sacrificing their time, or they're sacrificing their money or their families or whatever. And I've always just tried to maintain that, especially with my law enforcement background. We have a lot of failed relationships and stuff like that, marriages and stuff, just from, the time and energy that we have to put into helping other families and dealing with other people's, problems that are going on. So for me, the priority has always been my family. So I've always tried to keep the main focus. But I've been able to, take that extra time that I've had, start slow, building, using my time that I do have more efficiently versus, just spending time in real estate. A lot of people will do a lot of stuff in real estate or do a lot of stuff with their extra time, but are they using their time efficiently? And that's really what it's come down for me is how efficient can I be with that time?
I love it, dude. What are you doing right now to plant seeds to maintain a lifestyle for yourself into your, golden years?
I mean, right now it's the focus is trying to do that through real estate, trying to, acquire these properties and stuff. And that way, years down the line, they start doing everything, on their own. Right now, in the building stage, we're buying all these things, we're putting all the money and stuff into them to fix them up and get them ready. And on the back end is where you see all of the returns and everything like that. So that's really kind of been our focus with it. But also just continuing to learn, teach my kids as well, trying to get them involved. So it's really about trying to change the trajectory of my entire family, not just what I'm doing in my immediate household, but what I'm able to do for my kids and to get them to take that with them as well, as long as the other family members that I have. So it's more so trying to plant those seeds in their mind.
Love it. If you lost everything, right? Because you got $40 million under management right now. That's a portfolio. I'm sure you got dough in the bank and all that. But if some calamity happens, right, and like you go to zero, and we drop you in a random city in the country, what's your first step?
I mean, we'll do it again. That's the good thing about it is you'll make some mistakes, you'll lose money, but you're gonna learn, what not to do next time, or you're gonna make better decisions next time. One thing that I've always been able to go back to is wholesaling. Even if I had no money, the wholesaling has always been very easy for me to get into and to deal with. So there's always that.
So you'd get in, you start. Would you connect with an agent, a wholesaler, or go direct to seller? What would be that first step?
For me, it's starting to be more community. Like I said, I started off doing it on my own and going direct to seller. That exhausts a lot of energy. So
you'd squat up. You'd look for where you could find connectivity, and you'd just jump right in.
I would go back to the Astro community like I do now and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. There's somebody there that's doing something that you can help out with.
Beautiful.
There's always been somebody.
College for your kids. Take it or leave it.
That used to be like a huge thing back when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Where everybody needed to go to college.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish college. I was going to college, and I dropped out to do what I do now in law enforcement. So it's not a big thing for me, but I mean, hey, you know, if they want to go a certain route that's going to help them and college is it, you know, so be it. If they choose another route that's productive, then so be it. But I'm open to either way. I don't know what my wife would say though, but I'm open.
What do you think she'd say?
I think she'd be on board with me. Just whatever's going to help the kids do great things.
Got it. So, you know, then this question I'm going to ask to wrap it up is it's a deep one, philosophical, I would say.
All right.
But considering your history, all the different walks of life that you've run into, from the worst of the worst to some of the best, what's the meaning of life?
Oh, that is deep, man. You know, I think it's always just kind of been, you know, happiness and doing for others. I've learned that, you know, putting others first has always made kind of my life better. It's always made me happier. You know, it's all actually kind of still some type of selfishness, you know, you have, but I mean, you're doing for others, and really that's what it comes down to me is just being able to be of service to others. That's always been something that I've grown up with. Happiness
and to be of service to others. I love that, dude. And you embody that as a human being. Grateful to be your friend. Grateful to have you in my life, man. Let's do some more business together. And guys, check out Marcello. How can people get a hold of you if they want to do deals with you, invest with you? What's the way to find you?
Man, so right now I started TikTok, so I do have some content on TikTok.
Maybe not for long.
Yeah, maybe not for long. As you know, that's going away probably. But my main place where I actually do most of my deals and everything is through Facebook. So you can look me up. I'm the only Marcello Sheriff on Facebook. You'll find me there.
All right. Great, guys. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this with somebody, and, you know, check out Marcello. This guy is the real deal. He's got opportunities. He's got knowledge. He's got, you know, sometimes just an ear to talk to, a friend in the world of what you're trying to do. Till the next time, we're out. Well, that's all we got, guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening. And again, if you haven't already, leave us a comment and tell us how this episode hit you, what you think about it. What were the things or questions that you had answered? Were there any other questions that you would have liked answered? You know, Marcello is going to be watching this as well, so make sure you give him a follow on all of his social media accounts, and we'll have them in the description below.